Featherweight bout. Pat Sabatini sitting at -120 against Diego Lopes sitting at -110. Over under 2.5 rounds, +155 for the over, -185 for the under. The emo kid is back in action in the Big Apple. Pat Sabatini, 4-1 in his last 5. He looked good his last time out against Lucas Almeida, took him down and did what he does best on the ground there. Diego Lopes picking up a big first-round submission win his last time out, getting his first UFC win. This one is grappler versus grappler, but if Diego Lopes elects to keep this fight on the feet and do some good work there, I think he's got the advantage. Pat Sabatini, not the best striker, and his bread is buttered on the ground. So it's going to be interesting to see. Does Pat Sabatini go to the ground right away? Because we know the submission threat Diego Lopes holds, but does he want to stay on the feet? Probably not, because Diego Lopes does have some good hands. So this is an interesting matchup. I'm excited to watch it. Who you got?
Yeah, super interesting. And I'm rocking with Diego Lopes. And the biggest reason being that wherever this fight takes place, whether it's on the feet, on the ground, Pat Sabatini is going to be in trouble. Like you mentioned, he's not the best striker in the world. Diego's not necessarily the best striker in the world either, but he's effective and he's got some power and he does a lot of damage. And I love seeing that out of a guy who's also equally obviously better on the ground than he is striking, but he can hang with guys on the feet. Pat Sabatini, when he does get fights to the ground, he's not super active with the ground and pound. He'll look for submissions. He's only got 2 in the UFC. But I look at that Damon Jackson fight he had. First round early, gets clipped. Damon Jackson's a grappler, not really known to being a striker. And Damon Jackson was able to kind of get him in the mount. Pat Sabatini gives up his back, hooks her in, flattens him out, and that's all she wrote. Damon Jackson gets the win there. Diego Lopes has the ability to hurt Sabatini on the feet. And if Sabatini makes one mistake while trying to take him down, this fight's over. Like Sabatini's got phenomenal jiu-jitsu as well. He's got he's pretty damn solid on the ground, but Diego is just like a different level. You look at this guy and the way he submits dudes. Like the Gavin Tucker submission was absolutely insane. Gets into the triangle, twitches the arm bar, flips him over. It's done. Movsar Evlev, he had 4 submission attempts in that fight, and 2 of those things were locked in as deep as you possibly could. If it's anybody else in the division, I'm convinced Diego submits him as a +650s, +700 underdog in that fight. Diego's just got that thing that he's going to fight for your money. He's a slight dog. I don't know how you don't take him at slight dog money. That line's a little weird to me that he hasn't kind of flipped to the favorite, or that he didn't kind of open as the favorite. Because you look at you gauge how dangerous each guy is. And I just don't see Pat Sabatini being too big of a threat to a guy like Diego. If Sabatini wins, I think it's just him controlling him and surviving submission attempts for 3 rounds while Diego would be on his back. That's the only way I really see Sabatini winning. So I got to take the dude who has more ways to win, the guy who's got the slicker jiu-jitsu when this fight hits the ground, because at some point it probably will. And for me, that's Diego Lopes.
Yeah, the only thing that scares me about Pat Sabatini is if he's got really good top control. So if he gets him to the ground and he's able to lay on his chest and hold him there, then Diego Lopes, clock's going to be ticking, and Diego Lopes is going to have to make some decisions. Does he try to get back to his feet, or is he going to work the jiu-jitsu on the ground? And as we've seen in a lot of his fights, he'll be on the ground for a long time. So that's the only thing that scares me. But I mean, like you said, I think he's got more ways to win. On the feet, I would favor Diego Lopes, and on the ground, the jiu-jitsu is nasty. If you could do that to Movsar Evlev, to be where, a lot of people think you won that fight just based off of your submission attempts, then you got a pretty dang good ground game. And a lot of those were so close to getting locked in to the point where something might have snapped. So, yeah, if you're Pat Sabatini, do you really want to take this guy down? Like, do you want those problems on the ground? I'm sure he'll go that way because he doesn't really know any other way. But it's a scary place to be. And Pat Sabatini, he's been knocked out twice in the first round. Damon Jackson knocked him out. I think Diego Lopes could catch him on the feet early as well. So Diego Lopes is going to be the pick for me, and hoping the emo kid can get another dub.